All right, so today we're going to talk about the Bugaboo donkey and why I absolutely love this stroller. So the reason I ended up with the donkey was when I was pregnant with my fourth baby, I needed to get a new double stroller. I had gone down to a single stroller, I did not have a double stroller. And I have found through trial and error over the years that I do not like inline strollers, front to back. I prefer side-by-side strollers. However, at the time, my youngest at the time, before my number 3, she was very shy and still very clingy to mommy and did not like to be forward facing in a stroller. So I was like, does a stroller exist that is a side by side where both kids can be parent facing? And so I went searching, and there's really only 2 that I know of that fit that criteria, and the Bugaboo was one of them, and that was the one I was more easily able to find and to get, so that is what I ended up buying. And I just fell in love with it. It is an amazing, incredible stroller. So like I said, the main reason I picked it was because the gajillion configurations that it can make, including both kids being parent facing. You could do both directions, one way, one the other way, both forward facing. You can have a bassinet, you can have the car seat, you can have it as a single stroller like I have it right now. You can have it as a double stroller. It just has so many options, and that is why I love it so much. So I'm gonna just real quick kind of show you some of the features of the stroller, and also share what I liked and what I didn't like about it. So let's get into it. So right now I have it in what they call mono mode, which is a single stroller. So this is one child can ride, and then this section right here, which when you move it into double mode, you're gonna expand it out a little bit, so it's a side-by-side double stroller. When it's in mono mode, you have the one child, and then you have still this little bitty section where the second seat is gonna go when it's expanded. They have filled that with a basket. So I have this little basket. You can just pull it out, and it attaches right here where your second seat could go. Now I have a little bit of an older version, so this is my basket. It's completely open. Newer versions I think have a zip top or something, but they have the same idea of a basket, bag type thing that goes right there. So you can toss sippy cups, water bottles, your purse, that kind of stuff in there when you have it in mono mode. And then this seat can be, as I have it right now, forward facing out to the world. To flip the seats around really easy, you just push down these white buttons, lift it out, turn it around, and then voila, parent facing. So here you've got your stroller where your child is facing you. So I've got it in leaned back a little bit, reclined, but you can set it up for an older child. You can recline it back if they want a nap. You can recline it. Oh, that was a little too far. It goes that far back, but I think your kid will be basically upside down. So anyway, that is mono mode. You can also use the car seat attachment to put your car seat. I have a Kiko KeyFit 30, so this is the attachment that goes with that. I don't remember which direction it goes. I haven't used it in a while. There we go. And if you have it that way, your car seat just snaps right in. So perfect for those early newborn days when you just want to use the car seat to get them in and out easily. You can also have a bassinet right here. And what's super cool about the donkey is the bassinet. It's not a whole separate piece. It is a separate piece of fabric, but they use the frame of the seat for the bassinet. So you don't have a whole separate big bassinet sitting in your closet when you are done with it. You just have the fabric that you can take off. And I'll show you later in the video how you change that out. So, like I said, I'll show in a second, but you can also have the bassinet attachment, which I had never had a stroller with a bassinet before. Didn't think I would care for that all that much. Ended up using it a ton and loving it. Okay, so let's say, you had one kid for a while, you used it in mono mode, or you have 2 and you're just taking one of them with you, use it in mono mode, but now you've got 2 and you want to put it into double mode. So to do that, you take off that side basket and you're going to expand it. So So on the donkey, you have all these white latches. Anything that's white is something that can be like used to manipulate the stroller. So I actually have them already open, but here on the handle, you have a white lever that flips open. Here in the middle, there's a white button that we're gonna push in a second. Here in the back is another white lever that flips open. And here in the front is a white lever that flips open. So you pull, or you open 1, 2, 3 levers, and then you push this button here and pull it open. And you'll kind of hear it snap. And then once you've done that, you can close the latch. Close the latch on the bottom, close the latch on the handle, and it is now a double stroller. And same idea as before, you can have your 2 seats. So you can have your 2 seats parent facing, or one each direction. So you've got one kid that wants to face out, one kid that wants to face mom or dad. You can have them both ways, or both parent facing. This. Now both kids are facing the parent. We loved this for walks around the neighborhood when they were younger and did not care to look out. But then as they got older, flip them around. We'd even flip it around partially through a walk, especially with my older daughter. She might want to start facing me, and then she would be like, I want to turn around. And we would just stop, push the 2 buttons, flip it around. Voila, so easy. I won't show you every single configuration because there can go a lot of different ways, but you can have your newborn in there with your older child. They do have, you can use this with twins. You can have 2 side-by-side newborn, not newborn, that's not the right word, baby car seat carriage. You have 2 side-by-side, you have 2 bassinets side-by-side. I did not have twins, and so I don't have 2 of those. What I did do though is a lot of times I used the bassinet and the car seat side by side. So let me go ahead and show you the bassinet here. All right, so this is the frame for the seat, and right now I have it in the older child configuration seat. I'm gonna switch it out for the bassinet. So I'm gonna take the belly bar, like I said, everywhere you see a white button, there's a white button, there's another one on the inside. You push that and it releases something. So I'm gonna pull out the little belly bar here to make it easier. And I'm gonna take the canopy off, which that just has little clips that clip on each side, comes off really easily. And then I'm gonna take the seat fabric off. So there is a clip here. There's some Velcros here. And then just kind of slides off the top of the frame. Like so. And now you have, this is just the frame, okay? So then for the bassinet, you're gonna plop the bassinet fabric down inside the frame, and you're gonna fasten all of the little Velcro attachments. It's so very easy. Just pop it on there, all the way around. All right, now your seat frame has turned into a bassinet. Actually put it on backwards. This side has 1, 2, 3 Velcros, and you can see how that's kind of interfering with the little lever, which doesn't really matter in the bassinet mode because you're not tilting them, but that's actually supposed to go on this side, and this side that only has the 2 needs to be flipped around. For the purpose of this video, I'm not going to turn it back around for you, but if I were putting a baby in this, I would put it back the way it's supposed to be. So anyway, once you have it in the bassinet mode, which how easy is that? You can put the canopy back on. So you just snap the sides on the frame again. And then you have a little canopy. You can put the belly bar back on it if you want. I usually left this on. It was nice to attach one of those little fans that you can get on Amazon. So in the summer I could fan the baby and also just to lift the bassinet on and off the stroller. So I usually left the little handle on, but you don't have to. And so then it just pops down on your stroller, just like the seat did, but it is a bassinet that is laying flat. You can pull the canopy up over the baby. Voila. So it's super nice. Like I said, I had never had a bassinet before. Did not think I would use it that much, but I actually ended up using it tons. One of the main things I used it for is actually at our house. I have 3 older kids. They love to play outside. And so when we go outside to play, I would pull the donkey out of my van, set it up with the bassinet. That way I had a safe place off the ground where he wasn't gonna get hit, but I could lay the baby down if I needed to go help one of my older kids get the bike down for them, fasten their helmet, whatever. So it's almost like a portable pack and play thing, and I could push them around the yard. And so if my kids were playing on that side of the house, I could go to over there. It was wonderful, not to mention for walks and that kind of stuff, but just like around the house as like, not the house, but around the outside of our house as just a portable little place for him to lay and play. I also used it like this quite a bit, which would confuse people. They're like, I didn't think you had twins. And I was like, no, I don't. So we homeschool and we go to a co-op once a week. And the first week or so, I did not have the attachment for the car seat. I just took it with the bassinet, and I was like, this will be great. I can put him in it while we're at co-op. Well, I realized very quickly that it was way easier to leave him in the car seat, get him out of the car, pop him in the stroller, and roll him in. If it was raining, if it was cold, just trying to get all my kids and all of our stuff in. So I bought the attachment, and what I would do is when we got to our co-op, I would open up a stroller, put it in double mode, attach the bassinet, and attach the car seat. Because my older kids, they could walk in themselves. They went to their own class. So I didn't have to have a seat for my daughter, my 3rd child. And so I put him in here. We'd go in. Once we got the big kids situated and all that stuff, I could take him out and put him in the bassinet. And then we were there a couple of hours on our co-op day. He could lay in there and play, and had a place I could change his diaper. And then when it was time to leave, I could put him back in the car seat while we were still inside, and it was calm, and I wasn't trying to chase small children in a parking lot, and I wasn't having to battle the weather, whatever. Roll him back out to the car, put the car seat straight into the car, and then take everything apart and collapse it back down. So I actually used it like this, as if I had 2 babies, but for my 1 baby, all the time. And on that note, the donkey lives up to its name because it is a workhorse. It is a pack horse. When we go to our co-op, we take all kinds of stuff. Our lunches, my kids have, their things that they're taking for their show and tell presentations. I've got my stuff, I've got the baby stuff. We loaded this thing down. I would, roll in with baby in here. I'd fill the bassinet with all of our junk. The undercarriage would have stuff, be hanging off of it. Get there, unload everybody. So it almost served as like a wagon too for all of our things. So anyway, so that's the bassinet. I just wanted to show how that works. So for the car seat attachment, there's different attachments depending on your car seat. Like I said, I had the Key Fit 30. So like I said, white buttons are what you're looking for. There are 2 white buttons down here. You push, pull open. All right, so some other features I want to show you. Here's the canopies. They are nice and big, and they unzip. I have both of them zipped up right now. So here it is on the standard seat. When you unzip that panel, here's this one on the bassinet. Let's see, where's the zipper? And so not 100% coverage, but really good coverage. So it zips. These are the standard canopies that Bugaboo has. They also sell what they call the breezy canopy, which has like some mesh windows in it kind of. So if you live in a hotter climate, you might want those, but we were totally fine with the standard ones. That worked well for us. All right, there's one break on the back here. Just push down on it. Takes a second for it to lock into place, but then it's good and sturdy. You can easily flip it back up. There are also, brakes is not the right word, but there's these white things on the front. And if you push down that will lock your wheels into place. So that way they are rolling straight and they're not swiveling around. Now, when I first got this stroller, one of the things I heard about it was how smoothly it rolled, how easily it would glide. And I was not finding that to be my experience at first. And I was like a little like sad and frustrated, like this thing is not nearly as easy to roll and turn as I thought. I did not realize that there were these two wheel locks or whatever on the front. And so they were down and my wheels were not swiveling because they were locked. Once I figured that out, things were a lot better. Also, as a word of caution, my daughter, she would often step right there to climb up into her seat. And when she would step on it, she would lock the wheel on her side. And so it was like getting all wonky and weird on me until I realized what was going on. So I had to just teach her, don't step on the white thing. Or if she did, because she was 3 and it happens, I would have to just release the lock. But that was something that I didn't know when I first got it and had to figure that out on my own. There are lots of accessories. I don't have very many of them. I have the belly bars on here. You can also get snack cups. You can get like a rain cover, seat liners. You can change out the canopy colors. So there's lots of different accessories and cool things you can get for it. You can get a rider board attachment that attaches right here on the back, and you can have a third child sit or stand on that. I didn't have that because my older two were quite a bit past riding on a stroller age when we got this. The handlebar here is a telescoping handlebar. So I have it all the way out. I'm 5'7". This is most comfortable for me to have it all the way out, but you can release these white latches on either side, push it down, that's all the way down. So my older ones, let's see, how old were they when we started using this? Probably like 5 and 7. And so even my 5-year-old, I would push it all the way down like this, and he could easily push it up and down our driveway. He loved doing that. So, it's good for your shortest kiddo all the way up to tall parents. And that extends really easily. And you can obviously go in between if you're a little bit shorter than I am and prefer it to be down shorter. The seat weight, the newer donkeys are 50 pounds per seat. The older models were only tested up to 37 pounds. So they used to be 37. So some people will say, well, these are the ones with the lower weight limit. Well, I've heard from multiple sources that they didn't actually change the seat at all. They just tested it at a higher weight limit. So the older ones were fine up to 50 pounds. They just didn't know it when they first came out with them. And so then they did more testing, changed the limit. So do some research on that on your own. But that's one thing I see in stroller groups. People want to avoid the older models because they're a lower weight limit. And in reality, it's the same as the older ones. But I have not confirmed that with Bugaboo, so don't take my word for it. That's just what I've heard. So anyway, so that's the weight limits for the seats. Let me show you now how to fold it and unfold it. So you can fold it with the pieces on, but it's gonna be huge and massive, and I don't want to do that. So I always broke it down to fold it when I would put it in the van. So I would take off, I've already got one seat off, but I take off both the seats. And I'm gonna show you how this fits in my van in a minute. But then you just reverse what I did with all the white levers. So I would put the handlebar all the way down, and I would release the 3 white latches, push the button in the middle. I tilt it up on its side, kind of push it down to make it small. You can fold it up in the double mode and put it in your van or car or whatever. It just takes up more space, obviously, and I want it to take up as small amount of space as possible. So I would collapse it down to single mode with the handlebar all the way in. And then there are these white levers, one on each side. So you push in on the black lever and push in on the black button, up on the white lever, fold it down, grab it in the middle, and it's like this right here. And so I would load that into the van and then pile the seats up on top of it, and then we would get to wherever we were going. Just reverse that, take it out of the van, lay it down in the parking lot. So it's kind of self-locked itself. So you do the same thing. You pull up on those little 2 white levers, pop it open, and then just reverse everything to open it back up if you're wanting to put it in your double mode. So, and then plop your seats on, and you're ready to go. Super easy. All right, so let's talk likes and dislikes. There is no perfect stroller. You're gonna give in one area to get in another area, so it's very much what matters to you and what you have, what you need, personal preference, all that stuff. So my favorite things about the stroller, hands down my favorite thing is how you can configure the seats and how you can have kids looking at you, looking out, bassinet, car seat, extra attachment if you have a third rider that you need, that just all the configurations and how versatile it is, the single mode. I mean, that is one of the huge things. Another one is it is the smoothest roll. It just rolls like butter. I mean, you can see how easily this thing turns. It is so beautiful, so lovely. It's also great on pretty much all terrain. I've taken it on gravel, taken it on the grass. It does great on everything. So it's really sturdy, and it's just amazing. If you are a side-by-side stroller person, but you want more options, because the majority of side-by-side strollers, forward-facing, they might have an infant seat attachment for when the baby is little, but not have all the other configurations. And so this is, if you like side-by-side but want variety, this is a great option. Now, a couple things that I do not like. It's kind of big and bulky, as a lot of double strollers are, so it takes up space in my van. It takes several seconds to break it down, to put it in the van, or to get it out and put it together. It's not just like a one-handed unfold like some other strollers. In order to get all the pieces and the variety and the sturdiness, you have to then give up the space in your vehicle, and it does take time to put together. So it's kind of one of those things where I was like, that's worth it to me, having to get it out, put all the pieces together. It's worth it to me to have all of the configurations and stuff. The only other thing I really don't like about it is the basket underneath. I mean, it's fine. It's not the biggest basket I've ever seen. It's a little flimsy because in order to have it collapse in on itself, it can't be like a really rigid structured basket. It has to have flexibility. So because of that, it's not like the biggest, sturdiest basket. However, it has been fine for what we needed it for, and you can hang stuff on the handles, and so I just mostly did that and only use the basket for small things, and like our lunches, jackets, the water bottles, small stuff down there. So the basket's not great, but other than that, my biggest thing is just, it does take up a lot of space, but so have all the other double strollers that I've owned. And you know, it takes a few seconds to configure it, which most of the time is not a big deal unless it's like raining, you know, that's a bummer. As far as heaviness, it's not, I have not looked up how heavy it is, like the frame, but it's not a big deal to lift it in and out of the van. I've had strollers that were heavier. This one does not feel bad to me. So, you know, unless you're super petite or, you know, not very strong, I think you'll probably be okay with it getting it in and out of your van. So anyway, so yeah, I absolutely love it. We have reached a point in my kids' ages where we just don't need it anymore. My older ones just don't need they don't need a stroller very often. So it's a lot to have for just one little stroller rider. So I don't use it as much anymore. But if I were to ever have another baby, I would hands down absolutely reach for this one, especially for that first year when you have baby in the infant seat. You know, you're able to use the bassinet until they start rolling. So for those first few months, it's just fantastic. Absolutely love it. I rave about it to everybody, talk about it all the time. It's a wonderful stroller. So if you're considering one, highly recommend it. Yeah, there you go. Hope that helps. All right. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. Follow for homeschool stuff, mom life stuff, stroller reviews, other random stuff around my house. And thanks for hanging out with me today. Bye, guys.